We have our Hawaiian Homes, Keaukaha and Panaewa residents here, at least letting our community know their stand on the organics facility that has been proposed with the county. This compost facility is actually closer than people can imagine. And their proposal to add other waste in the compost organic supply. And you know what we found out from research was that the stench is going to be a problem. And we have people here from our Farmers Association that live very close to this compost, letting community know that they're not wanting it near them, and that they shouldn't be putting another toxic release facility on Hawaiian homelands. We just wanted everybody to know. I'm not sure everybody knows this, but we identified at least 12 toxic release inventory companies that are on Hawaiian homelands. Toxic release inventory means that they're emitting chemicals or pollution that is regulated by the Environmental Protection Agency, which lets everybody know in their mind that it might be harmful to the human being. But they're on Hawaiian homelands and very, very close to our residents. So what we're looking for today is for them to not put it near our families. Find other state lands that they can put it away from community. It's just a no-brainer to me that they do that. But it is also a fraction of the whole picture, that they shouldn't be putting any more toxic release inventory companies on DHHL land near residents. You know, and first of all, their rehabilitation ideals on the Commission Act is to put people on land. Our Commission Act does not talk about the health and safety of our people and beneficiaries. I really believe that they should focus on something like that, and it should be changed or added or amended legislatively. And this is what we're going to be doing this year for a resolution in legislation, and that is to ask and request that they add ideals about the health and safety of our people as beneficiaries, and working with County Council to help us with the evacuation plans that we have down in Keaukaha, and the toxic release facilities that are in Keaukaha bordering our community. And I think we can get their support by having our county council or our county see how they can remedy this issue by cleaning up Keaukaha, fixing the pipes, getting these facilities to be responsible for the residents that are around them. And so all we're asking them to do is have an evacuation plan disclosed to County Council and also disclosed to our county first response. In the 1960s, the airport runway was being proposed and a new terminal. DHHL swapped some land and gave it to state for the General Lyman Field Airport runway, which meant that they needed some land from DHHL. So they condemned several blocks of our families in Keaukaha, and that was the first move of families being relocated. They had no say, their lands were condemned, and they had to be relocated. So the first street in Panaewa, Pilipa'a Street, are the people that had to move. My father lives on the airport fence line. He made the cut, so we live right smack in front of Touch and Go. We've been there all our lives. And so what that did to our people, it instilled fear into them. Even though they know they live within these or bordered by toxic release inventory companies that could be detrimental to their health, they were fearful of saying anything for the fear that their lands were going to be condemned again and having to move. We're not asking for these people or facilities or government to move. We're asking for them to fix because it is their responsibility. There's a mitigation program that DOT is to follow, and they have not done that. We have 200 plus residents in Department of Hawaiian Homelands in Keaukaha that need to be mitigated because of the noise. But no monitor readings were given. We're just asking them to go and update to see if they're meeting the standards, and if they can, receive monies to help mitigate the rest of the 200 families that need to be serviced. It's been said, typically environmental injustice or environmental racism throughout the United States talks about toxic release inventory companies of industry being put near poor neighborhoods of race and color. I see that here in my eyes because all of these toxic release inventory border our community. And so it, to me, bearing the burden of all the toxic pollutants and environmental injustice on the backs of Hawaiians. And I think that is a civil rights issue or a human rights issue. That's a larger perspective. The compost facility is just another act of that. Putting in, remedy, not taking into consideration how it's going to impact our families. Putting the sewage plant in front of our families and having to deal with the hydrogen sulfide levels all our lives. I've asked Earth Justice to come and take a look at this issue as a whole. Not to help, to have feasible funding so that we could take care of these issues. Because I really believe that these pollutants cumulatively has an impact on our people. It's like smoking a cigarette in a room. If you have one person smoking a cigarette in one room, try having 10 in the same room. Nobody's taken into consideration the cumulative impact of these toxins and toxic facilities in close proximity. All we're asking is that these toxic release inventory companies take responsibility for polluting our air, land, and water. What I've been asking for is a cumulative health study, a comprehensive study on the pollution that are emitted by these companies. So what I've been doing was collecting data and what our community is aware of and what concerns them. So I started an initiative to have a health study passed out in my community, and I've had a really good response of people wanting to participate willingly. However, it's so sad in my heart because I get to speak to some people, I get to hear their stories, and as I'm walking on the streets of Keaukaha in tears, going house to house, passing these surveys, and as I read them, I get to see and hear the stories. It's really sad to me. So what I did was also videotape some of our members that were willing to say their story.
Aloha, my name is Ariane Garcia. I live Front Street right across Radio Bay.
Because they need help now. Their health has depreciated. They don't know why. They suspect. And my only way to do this is to relate the pollutants that are coming from these toxic facilities and how it relates to the health of the people in my community.
And ever since I moved back down here, from Mauka to here, my health is deteriorating and it's been worse. Now I have COPD, chronic lung disease. I'm on oxygen, and I have to take the tank wherever I go. And every 2 months of this year, I've been in a hospital for a couple of days, and then I'm out. And because of the breathing, I can't breathe hardly. But I'm so saddened because the gas company here, they shoot up gas, whatever. And I've been working on this for many years. But you know what? And I shared this because my family's been all affected at times. And I feel that we shouldn't go through this. We should be happy. We should be rejoicing. But a lot of our people in Keaukaha been ill for a very long time. Many have died and left us, but I'm here and I know who's my healer. God is my healer. But he said use wisdom. And I really do love Keaukaha. But because of the situation what's going on over here, the toxic from the car, the front street, of course, Aloha Petroleum, the plane crossover, and you know, with all these people that I do this, I do that, that's a bunch of lies.
I read Kaikahele's plan for development here in Keaukaha. I see this as great, you know, because what comes with development and making it look really beautiful and feasible for and attractive for other people to come to this destination, it will be to do your research on the area. Environmental assessments need to be done, and then you're going to know that there are issues already in place in Keaukaha where he's going to develop. And the issues in Keaukaha will mention the sewage plant, toxic facilities. So I think this is a great thing because, you know, then Kai will be able to go and see the need for cleaning up. I think he'll support this. I think he will support our community asking for a cleanup.